Good evening to everyone. My name is Jenna Gorfel. I'm Legion IT Academy CEO. And I would like to introduce you to Alex Plotkin, our partner and CEO of a very famous and successful company in North America, Cyberwall Security. Today, we will talk about cybersecurity, about how important this field, what are career opportunities, what are the jobs, salaries, and what is the future of this profession. And then you can ask us all questions in the chat, and Alex will kindly answer them. Alex, please continue.
If you let me to share my screen, I will be happy to share my screen.
Sure. So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
And, just a second. Started to do something. Thinking. Just a second. Let me try to do something. Oh, select me. Okay. Okay. So you're supposed to see the full screen presentation. That's what you see?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about information security, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But those, yeah, thank you for Legion IT Academy for joining forces with us and trying to bring this topic to attention of everyone and how we can help each other to get into this profession and this career. But I will start with talking about what is cybersecurity, what kind of things we do in cybersecurity, and what you can do in cybersecurity right away after our training. So cybersecurity, it's all about how to mitigate the risk in a cost that makes sense to the business, right? It's not all or zero. And usually we focus on three things. It's confidentiality. So only people who are supposed to have access to particular information have access to this information. Integrity, the information we just accessed is actually information that's correct and nobody was able to change it. And availability, whenever I want to access this information is available for me. And everything we're talking about cybersecurity is around one of these main three things that everybody in cybersecurity is talking about. There are different layers in cybersecurity protection, where it's around people, information, and there are products that help us to protect this information. The data, we call it assets, right? The computers, the data, we call it assets. The threats is a type of action that has the potential to cause our harm. The threat actors, the bad people who want to get access to our information. Vulnerability is a flaw that these threat actors use to bypass our security. Threat vector is a mean by which they use to attack. And there are a number of risk response techniques we use. We can accept the risk, we can transfer this risk, or we can mitigate this risk. Okay. That's just to show that we have scooter, which is assets. The risk is that scooter will be stolen by theft, which is a theft scooter, and there is a threat actor that's used the fence in the hole, which is vulnerability, to steal our scooter, right? I was just trying to bring it to the simplest way I can, the complicated things we discussed. So why do we need information security? First and foremost, and protect the organizational ability to function. If we don't have our databases, if we don't have our systems, we obviously cannot function. We want to enable the safe operation of application and in our IT. We want to protect the data that the organization collected and our users. We want to protect technology that the organization uses and prevent the same three things: the unauthorized access, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction of information that's company collected. Again, it's all around about identity, to identify who is the person who wants to access the system, analyze it, to do action, prevent or allow, to monitor who have access to what, and control what's actually happening. Why security becomes so important? I don't need to tell you, every day we've heard about new hacks, new stolen information, new data leaks. So different industries come out with different regulation to try to protect personal information or business information that's companies hold. If we in a banking or financial, we have SaaS or SOCs. If we in a payment, we have PCI DSS. If we in a healthcare, we have HIPAA. And if we're talking about general privacy, there is GDPR, most famous privacy framework that's utilized by European Union, and everyone who uses who does any business with European Union is supposed to comply with GDPR privacy rules. Okay, so these change the economics, it changed the risk, it changed the what will happen if something happened, right? It's also what happening after company is compromised, after data is compromised. So let's see who are the bad guys. Sometimes it's national state and motivated by economics, right? I don't need to tell you that the guys from North Korea for trying to hack into United States. It was announced, I believe, a week ago or months ago. The big cybersecurity company, before actually hired 12 people that we now know actually they resigned in North Korea. They were waiting for the hiring process and were hired to work for United States cybersecurity company pretending to be United States citizens, right? So that's national state cybersecurity motivated hackers. There are hacktivists. I don't need to tell you how many time Greenpeace or whatever they call just go and do some attacks on oil facilities, on tankers, on everything that they don't like. There's also cyber criminals. That's what we usually hear. People who stealing credit cards, people who stealing information, trying to run a ransomware attack on the companies, and then to try to sell as the keys to decrypt this data for biggest amount of money. There's just terrorist group. Okay, there is a constant conflict in the world. Russians trying to hack Ukrainians, Ukrainians trying to hack Russians, Israel tried to hack Iran, Iran trying to hack Russia, and Americans tried to hack everyone. So there's a lot of terrorist group and organization. For the last 3 or maybe even 4 elections in the United States, we heard every single time Democratic conference was hacked, the Republican was hacked. So there's political actors who are trying to gain access to the very sensitive information, and there are just thrill seekers. You can't imagine how many teenagers just going to the internet buying for $200, $400 scripts that's running and they're hacking companies. I believe today the thrill seekers is about 50-60% of the people who actually do hacking activities on the internet. And if you're looking deeper, 80% of them actually will be just teenagers that's bored and do nothing, and that's what they try to do. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Information security officers, they are the good guys who try to protect information, who try to protect company, who trying to protect our sensitive, our personal identified information, right? They try to protect everything. They're trying to build the systems that protect this information. They're trying to train people, to create policy. In our case, I'm trying to explain you what need to be done. The bad is the guys who actually want to get access to our information, destroy information or encrypt our information and get a payment for the way to decrypt our data, or just because we don't want this data to be publicly available because it's something very sensitive for us. So cyber crimes, and again, it's old data already, but cyber crimes already going beyond $2 trillion a year. The last numbers I saw was $2.5 trillion a year. And criminals leveraging multiple tactics, from phishing, like about 70% attacks starting with just phishing email attacks or supply chain attacks. Target CEO was trying to hide the attack and was fired after the breach. The Equifax CEO resigned 2 weeks after the massive breach that's exposed probably 70% of personal information of American citizens. So it's not just bad guys and good guys, it's also now become very sensitive information that discussed on the company boards and the government that's tried to regulate this field. So again, what we're trying to do, we try to understand that security is to be free from danger is the goal, right? We want to operate freely without, as an operation of the company, without thinking all the time what we do and how the information being stolen. So many times as long as security increase, the convenience of access to this information or using in this system is decreasing. I don't know how many of you are using almost every system today asks you to have multi-factor authentication. It's not just because they want to make you uncomfortable to use the system and always have your phone with you. No, it's just because so many people trying to hack into your user on Facebook or on your email or any other places. The main issue for successful attacks is just vulnerabilities on the systems that unfortunately our developers create and were not identified quickly enough, or after they were identified, were not patched on the systems. There are configuration issues. I can't tell you how many times when we do security assessment for the companies in the cloud, we're finding some open systems to the big world that can be accessed from anywhere in the world, and nobody just didn't fix it for a long time. The software that designed poorly, not just developers that didn't do the good job, that the software was designed 20, 30 years ago with many limitations. There are hardware limitations and there are enterprise-based issues. There are many times that employees that come into the companies and installing their own computers that don't have relevant protection, but it's connected to the company network, and people that's connected to this laptop can have access to the corporate network. Just few hacks that happened in Canada to make it fun. Swiss Chalet, 2 years ago, you can come to every restaurant. It was open, but you couldn't pay because the payment system was down because the whole system was encrypted and they couldn't use it for, I believe, 3 or 4 days. So it was cash only. Ontario town was paying ransomware. By now, I believe that 3 or 4 Ontario towns or city paying every year ransomware just to unlock the computers. The last attacks were, I believe, Toronto with the library and healthcare system, and Hamilton with the city being down for 2 weeks. The people couldn't pay but taxes, but people also couldn't receive any services from the city. Trudeau, our prime minister, tried to collect banking system for 500,000 Canadians, which considered privacy breach by every single Senate member, and it was blocked. Canada Post, I don't know for guys in the United States, you probably don't know, but the biggest drug dealer in the world is actually Canada Post. You can go to the website to order the drugs and marijuana products, and they will be delivered to your home by Canada Post. So Canada Post system that was collecting information about all these people that ordered cannabis products were penetrated, and the data leaks, and we could see all the data of people who ordered the products in the last, I believe, 6 months or so. I believe the biggest hack of all time, it's a Marriott hotel system that's the bad guys penetrated the registration system and actually stole personal information of every single person who ever stayed in the Marriott network, including the pictures of the passports. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is another Alex Plotkin in the world that have a different picture but have my number or my Canadian passport. Desjardins, we always, when we're talking about security risk, we're always looking at the bad guys that coming from on site. But Desjardins, it's a good example that employee stole the database of all the clients and all the financial information and was trying to sell it on the black market. So it's not always the guys that coming from outside. We also need to make sure that the people who are working for us are not able to copy these guys and steal all the sensitive information. And how we do that? So United States DoD designed the map on everything that's need to be done to seal the information, sensitive information. And I don't think any company in the world has everything that's here, but I do know few big corporations that have more than 90% of what you can see on this map. Majority of companies will be about 50-60% of all the systems that we mentioned here. So just to summarize, we do need information security to reduce the risk of to the acceptable level, right? The main goal of cybersecurity is protecting confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. There are roles and responsibility of that security professional that we'll talk in a minute. We should monitor everything that's going on in our network, in our systems, to make sure that we can cut on time anyone who does bad things. And we'll talk about a few other things. So now I'm switching what is need in cybersecurity field in North America. So there are 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs in the world, about 500,000 from them in United States. Okay, that's from director of CISA, which is Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency in the United States. Assumption that's about 10% of that is in Canada. So let's say about 50,000 jobs in Canada supposed to be open in cybersecurity field. There are a number of paths that you can do. It's not about just I started to do as a cybersecurity analyst and I continue to be cybersecurity analyst. There are more technical roles. There are less technical roles. There are auditors who audit what we do. There are people who write the security policies. There are people who audit the security policies. There are people who actually implement the security policy and implement new systems. There are people who just monitor what's going on, and that's mostly what do cybersecurity analysts. And there are integrators and consulting. There are many different jobs that's available in cybersecurity field, and every person can find what fits into his kind of skill set and what he prefer to do, right? But our focus today will be about entry-level jobs, which is cybersecurity technician or incident analyst or responder, which frankly, majority of people call SOC analyst. So SOC cybersecurity analyst, what they do. The main role is actually to monitor and respond to security incidents. Behind me, I'm in the office right now. Like I know you see my Cyberwall background, but actually in the office right now, behind me there is a wall. Behind the walls, there are two people who are watching right now. I believe about 20 screens, just to see what's happening to our clients, and if there is any alert or any red flag, they're going to react and to investigate and to stop the attack. So how they do that? They analyze security alerts, right? We have a bunch of systems. They analyze them. They investigate potential threat and take action what to do, how to mitigate it. And that's what we're actually going to teach you in our training. So Cyberwall and Legion IT Academy, we decided to do it together. Cyberwall running similar program for, I believe for now, for 5 years. It was sponsored by government. But I don't know what's your experience working with government, but we applied for 100 hours program and the government came back and said, yeah, it's approved, but the course will be only 40 hours. So what we did, we shrink everything they could and they created 40 hours program. That's we run for 5 years. And right now about 300 alumni of our program. I'm in touch with many of them. Some of them stay cybersecurity analysts. Some of them become managers. Some of them become project managers in the cybersecurity field. And at this point, I was trying to make it right, and that's how we started collaborating with Legion IT Academy. And we come back to this initial idea to create proper training between 80 to 100 hours, and this is what we're going to do here. We come back when we put back all the offensive security that we had to took off. We put back the preparation for the certifications. So that's how this program will be building. So what the cybersecurity, the question we usually heard from participants is what the cybersecurity salary. So I just copy paste this from Glassdoor from 3 days ago. The cybersecurity analyst with 0 to 1 years of experience, this is the salary between $50,000 to $76,000. An average is 62. But the cybersecurity analyst salary in Toronto, it's $85,000, $86,000. It's average for people with 0 experience and 10 years experience, right? So for starters, it's just 62, but the people with the 5, 6, an average will be 85. I personally know people who are still on a cybersecurity analyst role, and the salary is about $90,000, $100,000, $110,000. They just have a lot of experience. They just like what they do. They don't want to move to other kind of to managerial role, or they don't want to go to integrations. They don't want to do to audits. They continue to be security analysts, but their salary growing. And I do have few guys. I have my own guys who are far beyond the $80,000 salaries. I just copied from again from the website. What are the company that's trying to hire cybersecurity analysts right now? For guys who are not from Canada, this is the biggest Canadian corporation. Stratagem is one of the biggest cybersecurity companies. It was acquired by Bell just a month ago. So when you see Stratagem, it's actually Bell. BMO, it's the 3rd biggest bank. Rogers, it's the biggest media and telco company. RBC is the biggest bank in Canada and the United States. I mean, the biggest Canadian in the United States and the biggest in Canada. Deloitte is a big player in everything, including cybersecurity, and that's what they're looking for right now. So a little bit about myself and people who will provide this training. So I'm in cybersecurity for more than 20 years. It started when to buy Checkpoint firewall was enough to become a cybersecurity manager. This is how I become cybersecurity manager. But I did a lot of training, a lot of certifications. I have master degree in technology management from New York University, and I also have CISSP, which is considered the highest cybersecurity certification. I'm CEO of Cyberwall and Pioneer IP. It's two companies, like Cyberwall in cybersecurity. Pioneer IP is IP protection. The program will be run by Tal Iqbal. He is the manager of Cyber Intelligence Center, okay, and SOC. He's, I believe it's more than 10 years by now. We work on this program together for the last 5, 6 years. He also frequently provide presentation lectures in Sheridan College and Lambton College, and he's managing the team on security consulting analysts. So both of us hiring every year between 5 to 10 people, just ourselves for our own 2 companies, right? The other people who will train you, all of them will have experience at least 3 to 4 years in cybersecurity. 2 of them have experience roughly like us. And every person that will provide the training, they are subject matter expert in the field they provide. So when someone will give you presentation about networking firewalls, this is what this person does for 20 years. If someone will come and give a presentation about SIEM, this person does SIEM for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years, okay? And if sometimes even I call him to ask me questions. So that's kind of the caliber of the people who will provide training to you. The lab's running through the guy that's he worked with us for for 3 years. So I don't know what's the total number of years of experience, but just with us, it was already 3 years. So if you want to have few information, a little bit more information about who we are, we have a Facebook, we have a LinkedIn page, we post stuff all the time, so you're welcome to visit us. Obviously, we have a website that you can find more details about Cyberwall and training. You can go to Legion IT Academy website and find more details, right? So there's a number of things you can find there. Now a little bit about the training program. So we start with introduction to cybersecurity. We'll talk to you about what this will include in the frameworks and everything. And already on the, I believe, class number 2, we will already set up labs. The main difference between what we do and most of the other places do, or even the colleges or other places, for every 2 lectures or every 2 presentations, you will have at least 1 lab. And then whatever we do with you in lab, you go home and you should recreate it. So you kind of, for each hour of theory, you're supposed to have at least 1 hour of lab. We are the most hands-on extensive training, at least in Canada. I don't know about all the competition in the United States, I will not say, but in Canada, we are the far most hands-on training program. We'll talk about Windows Server, window controller. We'll talk about window event logs, how we collect information. We'll talk about network principles, how we connect all the system between them and the firewall and to the internet. We'll talk about security information and event management system that's called SIEM. Every professional you tell a SIEM, they know what does it mean. There are a new buzzword that's called UBA, user behavioral analytics. So it's looking to the same data, but trying to find a little bit different aspects of the attack. We'll talk about threats, attacks, vulnerabilities. We will discuss endpoint detection and response. What is vulnerability? How to deal with vulnerability, web application scanning, understanding security tools, CIS controls, incident response, cryptography, and Kali Linux. All these will end up with preparation for the CompTIA Security Plus certification, which by the finishing our training, you're supposed to be 90-95% ready for the exam. I hope you will also prepare yourself, and that's the kind of the way to pass the CompTIA Security Plus exam. CompTIA Security Plus exam consider kind of the basic today in cybersecurity. In majority of the places, you will be asked if you have Security Plus or CISA Plus certification. That's kind of the minimum. When I see someone junior coming to me with a certified ethical hacker, I'm just start laughing, because if you never did anything in cybersecurity, how come you already hacker, right? Like there is no hacker who becomes cybersecurity hacker or cybersecurity offensive actually analyst on a day 1. Everybody start with junior position, and SOC cybersecurity analyst, that's the junior position. That's, I believe, majority of people start in cybersecurity. We try to be brand kind of neutral. We will utilize different tools that's used by majority of vendors. Obviously, there's nothing we can do without Windows. We'll do a few things with Linux. We went with pfSense. Today it's the basic firewall. All other firewalls just more complicated and more sophisticated, but we want to do the basics, right? We will utilize Nessus for vulnerability scanner. That's the kind of standard in the field. Everybody use Nessus. I just paid today for our annual subscription for Nessus. Sophos, I believe 50% of small businesses protected by Sophos, and about 5 to 10% of the big corporation protected by Sophos and the endpoint. And Sumo Logic is the SIEM tool that we utilize to connect all the systems, to collect all the logs. And then Sumo Logic will trigger a few alerts, and you will see what does it mean to receive alert from your SIEM, and then what to do, how you investigate, and what to do next. This is how the lab look like. We literally create, you will run at least 3 or 4 virtual machines on your laptop. So I really hope you have the good laptops to run this. Anything that's 2 years and younger can hold it. The minimum for the memory should be 16 gig. Otherwise, you will not be able to perform any of the tasks in the lab. And I know we started to receive questions about, okay, I want to start in cybersecurity, but I have no background, no skills in IT. So we now finalizing the last step to start also IT fundamentals program, which we'll start with later. So the people who will go to IT fundamentals program will be able to join the next cohort of the cybersecurity program, which I hope will be, I don't know, Jana, help me out here. I believe in February. No, it's even longer. It's March or April, right? So I'm just counting the months that we need to run the program. It's about 4 months. So we want to start a program soon in October. So 4 months. This will be February, March. So that's the program. The program is 26, I believe, meetings. Each one about 2.5 hours, which is 3 academic hours. We will meet twice a week in the evening, so to allow you to work in the day job, whatever you do. But in the evening, starting let's say 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will run a class. It can be theory, so we'll just see presentation, or it can be lab. So someone will lead you through the steps you need to do, answer any question you have, help you to troubleshoot stuff. For this cybersecurity program, we expect you to know basic things in IT. So you're supposed to understand what is Windows, how to install Windows, how to install virtual machine, what is Active Directory, and basic of networking, like what is OSI model and how things connect to each other. And the rest we'll teach you. Literally, step by step, we'll teach you. I think I'm kind of done.
Yeah, I just thank you so much, Alex. I just want to add here that we launch our program. Actually, we are going to launch 2 programs. One program for people who are pretty new for this field. It's like will be like a kind of preparation. It's 2 months course. And another course will be for people who already know, in IT, they have some experience here. So hopefully we will launch them by the end of October. For these groups, we provide a special bonus. We offer training from IT recruiters to help you to prepare for the job search market. It will include resume writing, LinkedIn profile, and also through the course you will learn how to experience and how to practice all technical job interview questions.
John, may I answer the question here?
Sure.
Is there entry-level positions? So I'm not sure I understand the question correctly, but the whole training is to prepare you to be hired for the junior entry-level position. Okay, so me, Talha, other people, we built this program. So this program was built about 4 or 5 years ago. 5 people who managing SOC come together to create a program. At the end of the program, you will have final project that will supposed to do all the labs, and you will have the exam. The questions in the exam that we do, half of them is from CompTIA Security Plus exam, and half is what we ask in the interview when people come to us for interviews. Okay, the whole purpose of this program is to prepare you to this technical job interview. When you come into the guy like me, okay, we want you to know what to answer. That's the whole. Nobody here who finishing our program will be super duper firewall manager, believe me. But you will understand the basics. So when the hiring manager asking you, guys, do you know what a firewall? Yes, not just I know what a firewall, I install firewall. I know how to configure rule in a firewall. Oh, do you know what is endpoint protection? Yes, I know what is endpoint protection. I use this in this brand. I know how to configure them. I know how to let them report incidents. That's the whole purpose. So you have an answer to 97% of questions that hiring manager can ask you. Okay, I freezed. I don't know. It looks like I freezed, and now I'm good.
There's internet issues, I think. Alex?
See,
Some interruptions, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's in delay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's much better, yeah. Computer says.
Okay, sorry, I just closed. Let me close everything that's running on my computer just to make sure that all resources go to Zoom. So the whole purpose of our training is to prepare you to answer any question that hiring manager can have. I'm not going to tell you 100%, but at least 90-95% of the questions you should be able to answer. Again, I expect you to try hard to do all the labs we give you to do, to listen to what we do, and person who have more than 80% on our final exam, you can see that as a sign that you passing the job interview. That's probably the equal thing. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Here also the question about the requirement for the laptop.
Okay, some computers, it should be something no more than 2.5 years old. I really strongly recommend to have 16 gig of memory on the RAM, just because you will run 3-4 virtual machines at the same time. It will work with 8, it just will be slower. It will not work with 4. We tried to work with 4 gig of memory even 2 years ago. At some point, the virtual machine just will not start. With 8, it work slow. With 16, it will be okay.
Okay, thank you. Guys,
Sorry, an SSD drive. I believe nobody today have a physical hard drive.
Okay, thank you. Another question, what about training for other paths in cybersecurity?
Okay, so right now we don't have other trainings, okay, just as simple as it is. But like I said, we prepare you for CompTIA Security Plus, which kind of basic in the junior position in cybersecurity. The people who go straight to CEH, cybersecurity, certified ethical hackers, or people who go straight to some fancy. I know training programs that can take you straight to CISSP, which is considered the highest certification. The problem is you're supposed to be 5 years in cybersecurity to be eligible for CISSP. So people go into the training programs, they're studying, they're paying the money. At the end, they cannot receive the certification because they even not working in cybersecurity yet. So we started from the basics. This is what we do. And from here, you can choose what you want to do. We give you the basic on almost every domain in cybersecurity. If you want to go to policies and procedures, we will tell you what is GDPR, we'll tell you what is SOC 2, we'll tell you what is ISO 27001, what is NIST. Then you can go in and do with that information what you want to do. You can start running policy, you can run a corporate program for cybersecurity. I know at least 3 people who finish our training working now as project managers for cybersecurity projects in the big corporations that they have it, but they decided they don't want to be a SOC analyst anymore, right? But they have this knowledge. They spend the 6 months or a year, and they become project managers. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Another question, does this course fit someone who is a senior software developer that has 10 years of experience in writing the code? And another question from software developer is 20 years.
Okay. So unless you develop for 20 years in some language that's not in use today, why would you do that? Like, unless you have this desire to cybersecurity, I will be happy to train you. I believe you have the skills you need. Maybe you need a little bit help with networking. But oh, I see. It's actually someone asking 10 years of experience in writing firewall code. So firewall, you also know networking probably. At least two of my friends who in cybersecurity, they started as a developers in Checkpoint, and now they're running the senior advisors in cybersecurity. But we're preparing you for junior positions. Like if you 10 or 20 years experience and have a job that's paying you $120,000, why you go back to 60, 70? You'll go back to 100, 120, no doubt. You will just need to spend in cybersecurity again 3, 4 years to get there. So it's up to you if you want to have this to go a little bit lower to junior position, to go back to more senior position in the 3, 4 years.
Are there any advantages for programmers?
Again, we had two programmers that's finished our training and they went to become project managers. Now, there is a whole domain in cybersecurity for applicational security. Okay, for instance, the guy who ran a web application pen testing for us, he's developer with 5 years experience and he didn't want to be developer anymore. But the knowledge and experience he had helping him today to try to find the bugs in the system so he can penetrate them. You can find your niche inside of cybersecurity as ex-programmers. Okay, I don't see big value. And again, I'm not salesperson, I'm technical person. I will never, sell you something. So it's not that our program is targeting web applicational pen testers. Okay, but again, we will give you the first step, give you generic knowledge you need to go to the next step you want to do.
Thank you. Another question, is there any guarantee of getting internship and a job after the course?
Let's start with we have people from 3 countries here, so we no way we can guarantee anyone internship or job after the course, right? So just put the basics. Now, usually after our training program, I take 1 or 2 as a co-op student internship in Cyberwall. I know Talha takes sometimes 1. We have partners who take some time, but nothing is guaranteed. Okay, and I want to say it right away, so no we come back and say, oh, you promised me. No, we're not promising you. We promise you we will try to help. That I can promise. Okay, and usually not everyone. First, I even not helping to people who didn't finish the project at the end. We're not helping people who failed the exam, because if I recommend it to some other company, I want to make sure that the stuff we just trained you. If you cannot pass our own exam, or if you didn't submit your final project, it's probably not for you. Okay, so usually statistically, people who successfully submitted the project and successfully finished our exam, at least 50% of them finding internships or co-ops after the program. I know yesterday, I believe I saw internship in, okay, I'm talking right now Canadian names, Bell Canada, taking 2 people to internship in cybersecurity, like last week I saw it. I know Toronto City, Mississauga City, taking every year at least 2 or 3 people for internship in the cybersecurity and the SOC. Will they hire for internship someone exactly when you finish the program? I definitely cannot guarantee that.
But I will add that we'll try our best. We also, as Legion IT Academy, we have tens and hundreds of people who are working different positions in quality assurance and data analytics and management positions, and we always try to help each other. So definitely we'll try our best. Some more questions here.
Would you consider Russian citizenship in
it's a good question.
cybersecurity career? Okay, it's more complicated than you think. It's bigger disadvantage in United States, less disadvantage in Canada. As long as you have legal work permit, people maybe even don't know that you have what country citizens you have. So I don't know if you saw it, but sometimes people who hiring even don't know what they come, they interview you, they ask you technical questions, they ask you what do you want to do in 5 years. They're not allowed to ask you citizenship. They just allowed to ask if you legally allowed to work in Canada or United States. Okay, you just in government and few other places, they will check if you Canadian permanent resident. They again, if your permanent resident is enough, they don't ask for your citizenship. Okay, in United States it's a little bit different. United States, there are more places they do background check. So first and foremost, people who work in cybersecurity should be ready for background check. Okay, so if you were stopped by federal police twice as a driving drunk, it will be hard for you to find any job in any government related to banking or anything, right? These people going for the background check. But but otherwise, nobody asking what's your citizenship. How to penetrate US job market, like any other job market. You're trying hard. You're supposed to speak proper English to come with a proper skill set that's hiring manager is looking for. And I believe United States and Canada actually countries of equal opportunity. So I do see people finding job. Doesn't matter what the color, what the language, as long as they can speak proper English and they have a skill set, no problem.
Okay.
IT fundamentals program, what the syllabus, what we will learn. Of course, we will be. So all our trainings are in English. We have, I believe, majority of our instructors not speaking any other language. I mean, everybody has another language. All our instructors are immigrants. I make a point to hire immigrants to train people, to give opportunity. I was given 20 years ago, right? So, but the training is in English. On IT fundamentals, we'll start with basic Windows, Windows Server, Active Directory, network, kind of, so you understand these things. And then again, our goal is not to prepare you to be a physician. Our goal is to prepare you for the level that's good enough for you to go to
You have the
cybersecurity.
internet issues again, connection issue?
Oh, okay, sorry. So, at what moment you lost me? Sorry, what moment you lost me? I'm still freezed. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. What was the last thing you heard from me?
I think you answered the question about uh, IT fundamentals program.
Oh, okay. So the purpose is to prepare you to the level that you can continue to cybersecurity. We're not going to make you a sysadmin. We'll not make you network administrator. The whole thing is to prepare you to move to the next step, which is cybersecurity SOC analyst.
Yeah. Somebody is
Okay, I already have certification on cybersecurity. I believe it's not related to our program, so I pass on this question. Looks like AI is an excellent tool to monitor and report what's about job security. So every single of my employees in SOC utilizing AI to investigate the incidents. The AI help us to make our work much more efficient. Okay. I don't see AI replacing cybersecurity analysts in the next 10 years. That's for sure.
okay. Thank you. Do you see another question?
Do you have any programs helping with HR firewall bypassing? That's to Jana, not to me. I'm a technical person. I'm not HR person. Do you issue your own certificate that can be added to LinkedIn? Yes, you will receive a certificate at the end of the program that you successfully finished our programs as SOC Cybersecurity Analyst. And also you will receive enough knowledge to go and pass the CompTIA Security Plus, which we will encourage you to go and do. Okay, that's worldwide recognized certification. It will eliminate many questions about what you know and what you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I don't see any more questions.
Yeah, I'll just let hear about the HR. As I told before, we collaborate with several IT recruiters and career counselors who can prepare you and help you how to deal with personal questions and how, of course, we will prepare you for technical questions. Alex, I would like to thank you. If you have some more questions, you have several more minutes, 4 more minutes to add them to the chat. And if you're interested, that we'll share you some of the information about the course, also about the course to about cybersecurity and the course for people who are new in IT and would like to enter the IT. Please leave us your email, and I will provide you all emails, and we will provide all the information. We'll contact you and send you all the information about the courses, all the prerequisitions, and all the costs of the course. Also, we will be able to schedule a personal consultation, so we'll discuss what fits you and what's, we'll explain you more about the courses. So please leave here in the chat, share your emails, and we will be happy to contact you. And if you have more questions, also please share them in the group chat.
No more questions.
I think that you answered all the questions here. Okay, here we started with the emails. Guys, for the course, we'll send you everything. The emails, to emails, it will be more detailed information regarding sharing the presentation slides. We record the meeting today, and if who wants, we will share the link to the recording.
The slides that will be used in the training will be shared with you after every class. You will receive the slides and the video recording on the session.
All right. Okay, some of them were pretty interesting. Okay. It
looks like we're good.
Yeah.
Answered everything.
Okay, I leave here, guys. Some more emails. Okay, great. I also leave here our email, so you can contact us. Also, you can Google us, Legion IT Academy. We are on social media, we are in Google. You can also ask all your questions, and as I told, we can schedule a phone call.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed my sexy voice.
Thank you so much, Alex. I think it was very interesting for people, and it's very, very good to have this information about cybersecurity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave the chat, the Zoom open. If you want to share here your emails, send more information for you. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening. Thank you so much, Alex.